Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of Fortunes in Reselling. Tonight we are going to talk about tips and tricks for 2019 in reselling. I'm Lauren, Hot Chic Thrift, and I'll let you guys all introduce yourself. Why don't we start with Jason?
Hey guys, my name's Jason, Thrift Trader. I've been a reseller for 10 years. If you guys would like to follow me, I'm also on YouTube as Thrift Trader. And I have a eBay Sellers Anonymous Facebook group. We're about 6.5 thousand members strong and growing.
Awesome. Shane?
What is up, everybody? I'm Shane, the Rising Grind Picker, and tonight I'm drinking some Pabst Blue Ribbon. Definitely. And yeah, so it's been a good week, and been doing a lot of RA.
Awesome. Scott?
I am the bearded picker, and yes, I still am the bearded picker. Don't believe everything you read on Facebook. That picture on Facebook was from last year when I did that. And we're celebrating with some Dos Equis. Yes,
awesome.
live bearded, folks.
That's awesome.
Love it. Wade? Or are you mid-bite? I can go to Chris. Chris?
Don't you worry. Don't. You're supposed to save the best for last. I'm not lagging. Grandma Ventures up there is using all the internet. All right. I am Wade's Ventures, guys, and I like the cool, kind of chill vibe we're getting over here. It's nice. This is Shane. I'm the Rising Grind Picker. Anyways, guys, welcome in. It's going to be an amazing topic. I personally am going to drop a bombshell. Yes, this is 3 mic drops. A bombshell later in the show, guys. So you want to stick around, tell all your friends, get on Insta, and this is going to be an exclusive on Lauren's YouTube channel, guys. Dropping a bombshell later on. But yeah, Wade's Ventures, and I do reselling stuff. I'm going to turn it over.
All right, Chris, Liquidation OH here. I resell on all channels, pretty much anything, hard goods, clothing. We have a Facebook group. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. But ask away. I just got my scanner, so I'm working on that now.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Yes, if anyone who's watching us live has any questions tonight, be sure to put them in the chat, and we will get them answered for you. Who wants to start with their best trick for reselling in 2019? Do I have to call on you guys?
Okay.
We'll have Chris start because he's probably going to have to leave.
Okay.
Tip for me is if you aren't selling on Amazon, start. And if you are, start looking on eBay for some flips, because a lot of times people list things pretty low on eBay, and you can get a good sell price on Amazon. So just write them down. I occasionally look on eBay and look for certain items, like electronics do pretty well. So if you're doing that, start.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Jason?
All right, my best tip is Amazon is dead, so I might as well just stay on eBay.
Amazon's no longer accepting sellers.
Amazon is no longer accepting sellers. The tip is there's no secret shortcut. There's no anything. You got to put in the work. You got to understand that, that if you don't if you don't research the deals, if you don't research your finds, if you don't take the time to list, if you don't take time to ship into Amazon, you're not going to sell crap. So, my biggest tip is be prepared to work. It's 2019. It's early in the year. It's a good time to set some good habits. It takes 21 days really to build in a habit of yourself, work a schedule, and actually just be prepared to do the work. You'll be amazed how many more things you find and how many more things you get done when you actually get started. I don't believe in luck. I believe that luck is where opportunity and chance meet. But if you don't have one or the other, if you're sitting at home thinking, how come I can't ever find something? They're not going. UPS is not going to deliver it to your door.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'll actually piggyback off that. My best tip for you is research your solds, especially if you're just getting started. because you might be looking at us telling you to buy something, but so are 20 million other people who watch YouTube. I mean, research your solds, find things for yourself. That's probably the biggest tip. The more you know.
Yeah.
Do the work.
Before I go, I'll add on to that. Sorry. Make it part of your process. Make it part of your daily habit. You have people that they go on ESPN and read about the latest sports. I'm looking at my store. I'm researching on eBay. I'm looking at Amazon. Make it part when you have free time. Go and look at stuff. Research, to Lauren's point.
Yeah, and I'll actually add to that as well. So, like, as an eBay seller, what I like to do is when I'm in the thrift store, if you're thrifting for a lot of the items you're selling or garage selling, what I like to do is I'll look up the item and try to find, narrow down the search to where it's like probably less than 100 active listings. And then what I'll do is I'll toggle between what has sold and what's currently active. And what I like to see are items that have, at least the same amount sold in 90 days than what's active, because what that's going to tell you is you have you stand a good chance of selling it within 90 days, within 3 months. So if it's something that has 150 sold and 50 active, well, that's pretty good, because even at that point, you can gauge, well, 50 of them are selling every month and there's only 50 active. So odds are, as long as you price in the range that these items are selling, you'll sell it within 1 month. So if you stick to a strict strategy when you're sourcing, you can actually increase the number of items you're selling every month too. So,
right. And one of my tips would be, I think that if you are going to sell on Amazon, obviously know the rules. That's what me and Scott preach all the time. But I think that one of the most important part is you have to leverage the tools for you or that's made or out there. So, I mean, don't be afraid, I guess, to buy a subscription, because sometimes it takes a little money to make some. And if you're too scared to buy a $10 subscription or a $20 subscription, then you kind of got to get that thought out of your head.
Yeah, so using up subscription last night, my advice, if you're especially sourcing retail arbitrage, is you really got to keep your eyes open. I left here yesterday afternoon, going to 2 Walmarts. The farthest one was 113 miles away. People think, man, he is crazy to drive for one product. They had 27 in one store and 17 in the other. And I ended up with 26 because the boxes were busted. 10 of them were busted at one store. I came back with an entire van full up to the seats in the back, full of stuff that I bought, because I know that route, and I know there are 6 other Walmarts off the interstate between here and there, and 2 GameStops. So, I was going to those 2 Walmarts, but by the time I got to the first one, I'd already spent like $1,300 in just stuff. Christmas clearance at Walmart, GameStop clearance, you name it. And someone posted in a group, it might have been your group, Jason, about GameStop managers not wanting to sell them clearance multiple items. I think that might have been yours, Nerf guns. Trust me, they don't care. The manager took my business card and said, I wish you'd come by more often to buy more of my clearance, because I just want this stuff gone. Every GameStop manager has told me the same thing. They want this stuff gone. They want it out of their stores. They want to be done with it. And he's like, next time it just really piles up, I'm going to give you a call and see if we can't make some kind of deal.
Nice.
So it's, I went for one item. I was expecting to get, 30 something of them. And I come back with a van full of stuff that unfortunately I haven't unloaded yet. I watched football today, but we're going to do that after the show.
Yeah,
but it's just, opportunity is everywhere. Don't wait for me or Shane to make a video to say, hey, go buy it. Shane's last video was on Barbie dolls. There's good money in those Barbies for 2018 Barbies. But you shouldn't go to a Walmart and go, well, I got that. All right, I'm done. You're not done. There's a whole store full of junk.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing I always do if I'm going into a Walmart for something specific, like I'm always going over to the clearance and I'm hitting the clearance up. I'm always walking around the store looking for other clearance, I'll even go down the toy aisles and just randomly scan stuff.
Oh yeah, I've actually walked into Walmart and they had several video games on clearance, and I spoke to the on-site manager and was like, "Hey, I'd like to clean you out on this clearance stuff, but can you work with me on the price?" And the guy was awesome. I mean, he worked with me on the price. We got even the clearance sticker knocked down a little bit. So I mean, that's another pro tip is just uh, talk to the managers, make a relationship with the managers because you never know.
Right.
They could call you up when they have stuff on clearance or they're marking things down, and you get first dibs on that stuff.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And Steve follows my ways because I brainwash him on the morning shows. He put the same thing in. His car's a little smaller than mine, but he still filled it up. He went to Walmart. He'd researched and found one product he wanted. And he'd come back with he's like, I stopped here, here, and here. His little car is completely filled to the guts. I mean, the stuff's out, especially right now. Yep. You got two ways to look at it. Is it clearance you wear or return you wear? Which one you see is how I would tell you your business is going to go.
Absolutely.
If you're focused on the returns, this ain't the business for you.
And one thought process instead of the returns to focus on is it's just part of the business, but you have to get to the volume. You have to get to a certain volume to absorb them. And if you're not at that volume yet, it's okay. Like I've been there where I took one return on eBay for $50 and I thought it killed me. You know what I mean? But I just wasn't at the volume that I needed to be at.
So Tommy said, "Let Lauren talk." Poshmark, but before I do that, Lauren, with your blessings, can I drop the mic? Can we drop the mic with a bombshell? Okay.
Actually, don't drop that mic because it's expensive.
Yes. And
but you can drop an imaginary mic.
It's got a little thing here from last time we dropped it. Okay. Lauren, this is too damn important. Can you lock the screen on me for a second? I need these people need to hear.
I'd love to.
Okay.
Are you still delirious on the flu?
Do I need to refill my wine? I think I will.
Yes. Let's get some likes going on here. Hit the like button, guys. I promise you this is going to blow your world. Or most of you guys. For eBay, it is not an Amazon thing, but it's an eBay thing. All right, so get some likes going here. Let's do this. Okay. And bear with me, guys. I'm so excited because I didn't think I would see you guys again. I thought that my days were over as of 2 days ago. Those of you who don't know, I was on my deathbed 2 days ago with the flu. And your boy Wade's got an iron stomach. I can virtually eat anything. And it was the first time I puked without being alcohol related. So in like 20 years. So that's saying something. Okay. So this is very important. And I'm going to give you guys two examples for eBay. Okay. One, I want to talk about everybody makes mistakes when they sell on eBay regarding, like, for example, I shipped out an item, a glass item, about a week ago. And I shipped out the wrong one. Well, I apologized to the customer, told them, hey, I'm sorry, I shipped out the wrong one. I refunded them. I've got free returns on all 2,500 items. Now get ready, guys. And this is really important, okay? So I've got free returns on every single one of my items on eBay, and I'll tell you exactly why. It's going to limit two things. One, it's going to limit negative feedback. And two, it is a great program to be in, guys, and a lot of people may not be aware of this. So anyways, get on with my story here. I sent the item. Your boy Wade is wrong once in a while. I was wrong. Well, guess what? The buyer left me a negative feedback today. Said negative feedback, and your boy Wade's got 100%, okay? Left me a negative feedback and said, hey, the seller sent the wrong item, and they're waiting for a replacement, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the whole story. Long story short, I was in the wrong. I got the negative, right? I called eBay and I said, look, I know that part of the program with free returns is I can have any negative feedback removed, even if it's my fault for any reason. And within 30 seconds, the negative feedback was gone, vanished. So that's what I want to tell you guys. A lot of people may not be aware of this. So let me make sure I'm painfully clear. If you have your item that you sold and it was on free returns, the buyer has to return the item for you to be part of that program, okay? So if I sold an item and it was my fault and they did not return it, then I'm not covered under this program. But if I sold the item and I do have free returns and they did open a return on that item, then no matter what the scenario is, I could have sent them the wrong item entirely, or it could have been burnt up to flames. eBay has to remove it part of that program because that item had a free return on it, okay? So I want to make sure you guys, let me say that one last time, because this helps in many ways. Not only does it help with protecting you from negative feedback, no matter if it's your fault, but it also helps against quote unquote, scammers in a way, right? Or if you think you don't want to have your store go public because you think people will mess with it, this is a way to protect yourself almost 100%. So you can have, now you don't have to have all your items on free returns, just that item you sold that has the issue has to have free returns, okay? Now, once you sell that item, no matter what the issue, whether it's your fault, the buyer's fault, your sister's fault, shipping's fault, if they leave a negative or neutral feedback, it is 100% removed as long as they open a return for that item. All right? Now, who in the heck knew that in the chat? I don't think many people knew that. So that being said, I've used it 3 times. 2 of the times, not my fault. But if I didn't have free returns, it would have been a battle to fight it, right? And that's another thing too, is do you want to save time? If you have free returns, they open a return, no matter who's my fault, their fault, whoever, that crap's getting removed. And it takes 2 seconds. I just say, hey, look, I'm part of the free returns. They opened the case, they returned it, boom, they remove it. Doesn't matter who it is. They don't look into it, they remove it. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. It saves you, free return saves you so much time, but a lot of people weren't aware of that program. I want to make sure it's painfully clear. They have to open a return for it. If they keep the item and they leave you negative feedback, that's not part of the program. But if they open a return case on that and return it back to you, no matter what the scenario is, the Lord himself can leave a negative feedback, and some amazing rep will remove it. All right? Was that not dropping knowledge, guys? Give me some love.
Let me pick up my mic over here to let you know that I knew that, and could you please drop me something I didn't know?
Yeah. Okay.
Wade, let me grab my mic over here and just let me tell you, Wade, your eyes are very blue tonight.
Thank you. I get that a lot. It makes me a better seller having blue eyes. Tommy Bernard, tell me, was that up to your standard, my man? Was that? Let me know in chat. Anyways, guys, just want to make sure you're aware.
Take it off Wade. We're tired of looking at Wade and his old information.
Oh, hey, who knew that in chat? Type 1. If you did not know that, type 2. I want to see the ratio here. And be honest.
The other thing that free returns gets you is it allows you to give a partial return based on the condition of the item when it comes back. You cannot do that unless you're in the free returns program. So that is the other benefit of this. Not publicized a lot, but you're allowed to do, as long as you do the free return program, you're allowed to give partial returns based on there are certain guidelines you have to follow. If it's this, you get 20, 30, up to 50% you can withhold from the return. And that's nice to know. And that's just nice to know because you can, what's the one thing you fear when you withhold some of the return money? They're going to give you a negative feedback. Mm-hmm. But if you're in the free returns program and you withhold according to what their rules, 50%, they can't leave you a negative, so you're protected. So that's a good deal.
Anytime they open a return case, and I want to note, Lauren, because you are the judge and jury here. There is a lot of number 2s out there, right? Not a lot of people knew about that. You are covered 100%, whether it's your fault, 100% of the time if somebody opens a return and you had a free return on that item. So crazy. Yeah, dropping knowledge. Sorry, Tommy. I tried to get something you didn't know, but obviously I know everything. But yeah.
I actually, I think I have several eBay stores just because you never know what's going to happen. And I think I'm actually going to separate out my clothes and my hard goods forever just so I can do free returns on the hard goods, because I don't want to do free returns on my clothes because that's just a rental service. But yeah, actually, Scott was talking about this on one of his shows, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago in the morning, and I was thinking about it then, but I just have to pull the trigger and do it.
Scott, you did not. You did not. Hey, here's the thing. My return rate is under 2%, and I've got free returns on 2,500 items, under 2%. And I sell mostly clothing. So that being said, of course, I do sell a lot of men's, right? And I think there's lower returns there. But if I sell an item to somebody, a jacket, and the pictures look like it's pure white, and they get it, and half of it's stained in wine from the last night accidentally that I spilled on it, and they open a return, and they leave me negative feedback because half of it's soaked in wine, then I just call eBay and say, hey, I have free returns, and they remove it. Simple as that. So I'm like, you know? So, and plus, what scammer is going to buy an item from you, quote unquote? I mean, I guess they could, but if they bought, like, let's say a $30 item, they're not going to they're normally they would have returned it and gave you the negative feedback because they want their money back because they're trying to screw with you. But in this case, they're not going to do that because the negative feedback will get removed automatically, and they're going to have to return it because they want their money back unless they're throwing, $20 or $30 down the drain. So it protects you both for negative feedback, but also the possibility of somebody screwing with your eBay account. So there's like a few different things there, and I think you get better search as well, visibility. So I mean, there's just so many, and again, I'm under 2%. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I just, for some of my clothing stuff, I can't do free returns just because I do a lot of new tag designer, and I just know it's going to come back to me the way that I sent it out.
You
just
ladies,
be a headache, and I don't have time to deal with it.
Yeah, and ladies' clothes is different though, Lauren, right? Like, I think you guys would probably return more than men's, but I don't know. It would be nice to see kind of like a way eBay can show us like the return ratio between like, the types of clothing that we're selling. So
I used to do the 20% restock fee, but I would ship my returns back for free and just charge people when I got the item back. And I rarely got returns that way. People just asked me questions if they had like fit questions beforehand. And I'm kind of sad that they took away the restocking fee. Did any of you guys ever do a restocking fee when you were still allowed to have it?
No, I never did. I always left it out because I just thought the restocking fee, with them paying the shipping would be a little higher, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I never did either. I was always afraid it would make someone too mad. So I never. It
never
always
made anybody mad.
it always pissed me off. So I figured it'd piss somebody else off. So.
Love it.
Oh, and I just had $161 sale. So drink up.
Heck yeah.
Oh, nice. I need
That's
one
killer.
of those.
It's killer.
Was it-
I went from 0 to $161. That was awesome.
Heck yeah.
was it a sack of Barbies?
Yes, it was.
Sack of Barbies.
I probably know what it was. Bet it was ass pads.
No ass pads. I can tell you what it was. But I have to kill you.
I know what it is. I can't tell anybody.
You can work for it. You can go find it in my store, but I'm not going to announce it.
I'm sworn under secrecy laws.
Yeah, and then you're sworn to secrecy. Never ever mention it.
Yep, exactly.
Just when I thought you couldn't find any more, but I found 14 last weekend.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, I have hunted this crap for 10 months, and I think I'm never going to see any more.
And you
Holy
find
crap,
it.
there's 14. Sent Shane a picture. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. I sent Jennifer a picture, and Jennifer's like, that's the most beautiful picture I've seen in months.
Yeah, yes. Oh yeah. These things are amazing.
So anybody who lives in Wisconsin, there's a good, y'all are not doing a good enough job up there.
You guys, maybe I should go drive down to Wisconsin for a day and clean them out.
I've told you where I got them, and you
Same.
still don't go there.
No, actually I do. I just haven't been up to the lake. But I did find some in a different place.
But it's
I might go to
one
the
thing.
lake next weekend and I'll look.
Never stop looking, guys. Just when you think you haven't seen
Mhm.
the last of an item that's really hard to find. This is an extremely good tip, and it's one that you should already know and probably do, but nobody thinks about it. There's stuff that I found in 2014. I'm wandering around. I still think about. They were such home runs. I'm like, there's got to be something. And these things I thought I were done with. It's every store has stuff different, and so it's. You can't assume that I do so well in Walgreens because most people who go into Walgreens, not resellers excluded, ignore the fact that Walgreens has toys. They absolutely ignore the toy aisle except for little bitty kids, and the parents are too busy trying to get their medicine or whatever and get in and get out because they're very convenient on every corner. And so nobody thinks about the fact that Rite Aid has really good name brand toys, and they have a tendency to sit there and sit there and sit there.
Right.
And so I do very well on these toys because nobody pays attention.
For sure. We did have a question in the chat. Jason said, do you all think having a new seller has wait, hold on. Do you all think a new seller has slow sales in the beginning because of low feedback? I'd say maybe a little bit, but also if you're a new seller, you're not going to know exactly what to pick up. So you're not picking up the best things that you could be picking up. That's just my opinion, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, the one thing I would tell you with a new seller is with that low feedback is it would be dependent on the items you sell. If you come out with a 0 or 1 or 2 feedback and you're trying to sell iPhones, and you're asking people to spend, $1,000, $800 and take a chance on a brand new seller, they're probably not going to do that. But if you're selling $10, $15, $20 items where these items, not only do people buy them a lot, very frequently, I call them feedback builders, so you only make $1 or $2. What's more important that you gain, the sales or the feedback and the experience, so that people will learn to trust you. And so you think a little different as a new seller and understand that, I've got the Snoopy sitting right here. I don't know which he probably sells for $14 or $15. Most people will buy this from a 0 or 1 feedback seller and not think anything about it because he's probably worth $15.
Right.
And it's something that's very easy. They can see the picture. It's nothing that they feel like they're going to be scammed or it's going to be fake. So just take your time and think through a little bit. What would you do if you looked at it and it was a new seller? How much money would you spend? How much money would you expect? What would you consider risky? And that'll answer your own question.
I think a couple things that you can do right away to fix that. Jason, I don't know if you're new, but so I would recommend getting the basic store. I don't know, what is it, guys? Like 5 something a month. And then what you can do then is create a banner. Once you create a banner and you create like a really nice like picture on this small stuff will help you when they go to your store, when they go to your listing. So you look more legit. And I think that's one of the things that you can do to kind of do that. So create a banner, do a good icon, and then also go to Vistaprint. They're pretty affordable, and you can create thank you cards. I'm not a big fan of asking for feedback on those, but I think when you do the thank you cards and you say, hey, thanks for shopping with me, you can also put a what is that little scannable code on the bottom corner? You can put that so people can scan. I'm trying to look if I've got one here. They can scan and get back to your store. And that helps with 2 things. They can go back to your store to buy more from you, but they can go back to your store to quickly leave you a feedback, or they can do it through their eBay. So banner, thank you cards through Vistaprint. Make sure you have a good icon as well. And then also, like when I first started, even though I wasn't like on the public store was new, I still said I was been in business since 07 because I've been flipping since 07. So you can also do that in your body too and be like, hey, I've been in business since 07. I pride myself in customer service and shipping, and then do all that kind of small stuff. I think it adds up and will really help you. And the thank you cards help with negative feedback and returns too, because I think when people get that, at least I do, when I get a card, I realize that's coming from an actual person, not a big corporate company or not a big business. And then I think they think of the transaction differently. So that's one of the things to help you.
So on your thank you cards, Wade, would you go as far as putting on there that you have free returns if they have any issues? Since you know that protects you against feedback?
No, I wouldn't, because I think, it's kind of like, and I hate using this, but it's like when you're in a relationship and the first one that says divorce, it's out in the open now, right? And then the next person will use it, and then it'll just be continuous. I'm not saying go get a divorce, guys, but it gives you an idea that once it's in the air, it's in the air, right? And so you don't want to put that in the air. So no, I don't think so. My thank you card is this, actually. I got it right here, actually. This is an old one. So let me show you. So it says, I've got my kid on here, right? This is Cade when he was younger. It says, Wade's Ventures, thank you for shopping with us. Every purchase is a blessing from our family. And hey, it is. And it says, please visit our store and click below. Check back off a new inventory from Oregon. And then I've got the QR code in the corner there. You can do via Vistaprint, so they can scan it with their phone. And then I also put the actual web address down here, stores.ebay.com/Wade's Ventures. And this card here, when they get it, it doesn't cost very much, and it helps, I think, with returns, because they think I'm an actual person. It helps with feedback because they want to help out, right? So there's a lot of good reasons for that. But also your banner. I think a lot of people don't do that. Like, create a really cool banner, because when people go there and they see your eBay store, I actually use the same banner for my eBay and then the personal. But yeah, create all that, and it makes it look so much more legit. I think the little small details is what really push you over when you're new.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. I did just get a question from Blackberry Thistle Tea. She asked if I steam or iron my clothes. I steam all of my clothes. Number one, it kills germs. Number two, it kills any odor if it's like a dry clean only item. Number three, it's way faster than ironing. And number four, it will not damage the clothes as long as you're careful. So if you're doing clothing, definitely steam over iron. Yeah.
I guess too, steaming too, as long as you're careful with tags, won't do anything to the tags either. You can, even if you happen to hit one by chance, you don't take a chance on marking it up, it'll just dry pretty quick.
Yeah.
Baby wipes. Baby wipes are huge when you're getting stains out of clothing. I've always used baby wipes, and for me, those are like the best that you could ever use to try to get a stain out.
Or a Tide pen. I have these all over my house because they're awesome.
Right.
Yeah, they are. I might have that in my van because I eat sloppily when I'm driving around.
I can see you eating a hot dog, tidying it up.
I'm like, they're probably thinking, that van is running off the road. He must be texting. No, he's getting spots off his shirt because he just had dinner.
I'm just wondering if we can come up with a tip that Tommy hasn't heard about, guys. Do we got any tips in here? I want to impress him. What do we got?
I've got a tip that that I'm gonna beat like a dead horse, honestly. If on eBay, definitely be using pirate ship to ship all your items, because no joke, USPS cubic rates are substantially lower than your normal rates from eBay, and you'll save money, especially now that rates are going up yet again this year in just a few days. So definitely be using pirate ship to ship your stuff from eBay.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Yeah, I've got another video coming out. I've got another video coming out about shipping, and it is actually the hardest thing to learn as an eBay seller. There are just so many. We can spend 2 or 3 shows just talking about shipping in general. Oh, yeah. Whether you're going to do free shipping, whether you're going to charge, whether you're going to do calculated. How are you going to send these things? Are you going to use eBay system, or are you going to use FedEx, priority, first class? Are you going to venture off the pirate ship and do cubic shipping if it fits cubic shipping? There's just so many different ways, and it truly behooves you to, especially the Jason, the new seller, while you've got the time, truly learn shipping, because shipping, I've got an item that's going out international first class, and I was going to do a video on it next week because I'm going to send it out tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know how much I saved on that. Because I think going to Australia, it charged them like $23.
Oh wow.
I don't have any idea what it's going to cost. So it's, I'm going to use Pirate Ship to do it. So this will be a first for me. Watching Katie and Vicky and them talking about they do their own shipping versus global shipping. And that's another one. You have to decide on international whether you want to do global shipping or whether you want to do the international shipping yourself. There's just so many variations per item.
Right.
So I'm actually going to do a video on that just to see what the heck happens. Win, lose, or draw. We'll see what happens.
Nice. Nice.
Maybe we should start talking about shipping tips.
One tip I have is it's a shoe tip, and I used to sell a ton of shoes before I got into Amazon. And one of the best things I found for shoes, if you just have like a white sneaker, the bottom of the I always try to get the bottoms of my shoes like really nice too when I sell them. And if it doesn't have, I know Jason, he's listening very closely to this because he's like, I wonder if this is what I do. So if it's not a painted sole, if the sole is not painted at all, you're talking just straight rubber, get the bottom of the shoe looking almost brand new. I take acetone to it. Keep in mind, you want to be outside. You want to be in a ventilated area outside with gloves. The stuff will eat through plastic gloves. So, and you can get the bottoms of the shoes looking pretty much brand new if it's not painted.
Good one.
I've got a dirty tip. I don't know if you guys are into it or not, but pretty. What I mean by dirty, some people will think it is, but what you do, I didn't know about this, but I put hats in here. If you guys ever have one of these things, they're cheap. You get them on Amazon, and basically, if you want to, what? Yeah. Oh, what? What is going? Hey, just.
I said nothing.
No, oh man. Okay. Anyways, guys, for those who didn't hear it, you can put it in the dishwasher. You see, put your hats in this, and then you can put it in the dishwasher, guys. So get one of these things. They're on Amazon. They're really cool. Although I haven't used it in a while, I just figured it was laying here, and I want to come up with something awesome. So
does it leave random hairs on your plates or stuff? And next time you run dishes,
that's perfect because you can guess what hat it came from. You know.
That's all.
How you got the flu?
Oh my God, no! I haven't done the hat thing in forever. Thanks.
So I got another shoe tip. Do not pass up a good pair of leather shoes, no matter how dirty they are, as long as the soles are good, because leather is one of the easiest fabrics to restore. Like seriously, you can clean the dirt off of it. You can rub, saddle soap on it, leather conditioner. You can pretty much bring a dirty old pair of boots back to life looking near brand new. So
nice.
Can you put another moderator in timeout? I haven't even tried that.
you want to put me in timeout?
Not on my channel. You can't.
See all the stuff you learn here. See, Wade has run all his hats to the dishwasher, so that's why he eats in the shower, because he knows it's clean in the shower.
Hey, we only want the best tips, okay? Only the best. I'm just trying to bring everything.
I'll give a shoe tip. I have a really good shoe tip actually, and I know I've already told Shane this one in the past, but leather bottom shoes, always pick them up. They're usually expensive, and you can sandpaper the bottoms so they look almost brand new when you clean them up. I want Jason, do you do that to the bottom of your leather shoes? I don't know.
sorry, the dog was barking. Say that again.
Do you use sandpaper to clean up the bottoms of your leather shoes that you pick up?
You know what? I've never done that. That's a good tip, actually.
So, do you know what
is
grit sandpaper
awesome.
you use? What grit sandpaper do you use?
Fine.
Fine.
Yeah, fine. Like not too fine, but fine. Like be able to rub your hand over it without like hurting your skin, but
Right.
don't get like super fine, or you're going to be sitting there for 100
Yeah.
years.
See, I've
buff
actually
it
heard,
out.
I've heard a lot of businessmen that wear, Oxford shoes with the leather soles doing that to help with traction. So,
Well, it cleans them up a ton. Like you could have someone who wore a pair of shoes like 6 times and then they donate them, and the bottoms look like crap because they stepped in oil or something. And if you just take sandpaper to the bottoms, they will look brand new. I do that with a lot of women's shoes.
Actually, Lauren gave me that tip that was probably a year and a half ago, maybe even longer. I actually bought I bought a hand sander to put fine sandpaper on to run it over the bottoms.
So by hand sander, you mean like one of those little pieces of block or whatever, so that you got a good grip on the sandpaper itself? Because those things are pretty cheap, $4 or $5. Or you use electric?
Electric, yes,
Okay.
Yes. I picked up an electric hand sander at a yard sale for like $10. And so what happened was I made sure it was a hand sander that doesn't vibrate and go back and forth. It's the one that spins in circles.
Or
you can
that'd be an orbital sander.
Yeah, orbital, whatever you want to call it. Sure, why not? And you can put the sandpaper on there, and you can hold the shoe, and you could clamp it onto something. I just hold it in my hand and then just scrape it together.
Now we're on sandpaper. Go ahead. Sorry. My tip was going to be.
I was going to say I've tried Shane's method with the electric sander too. But women's shoes are it's a smaller area and it's really hard to do that. Like I just have to do it by hand. Like I'll hold the shoe in my hand and then I take a piece of sandpaper over my other hand and I just go like this back and forth for a while. Like I'll do it if I'm watching TV or something. Or if I'm in a working hangout talking. Like if you see my shoulders moving, that's probably what I'm doing. But yeah, go ahead, Wade. Sorry.
I'm just wondering, we're giving all these tips. I'm wondering if the audience, the 142 people, hit the like button. But more importantly, maybe we should come on and get tips from you guys. Put tips in the chat, guys. I'd love to see if you guys have tips. Put a paragraph long tip and we'll read it out to people. And maybe if we don't know it, maybe you guys can put a tip and we can read it out to people so we can blast this. But I saw this really cool thing. I can't remember who did it. A guy on my Instagram, really cool guy. Now, these were not packages being sent to Amazon. They're being packages sent and sold on eBay only. But what happens is you'll find that a lot of packaging at the top right or the top left or sometimes on the bottom will have like $14.99 on the cardboard, right? On like the display of the package. And believe it or not, I've sold a lot of that stuff for more than what was listed on the actual item itself. It's sometimes it's rare, but you can do it. And I've seen him take a sander and sand that off, and it looks really good. He'll sand off the $14.99, and it takes 2 seconds, like really fine, and it will sand off. And then that way, when you list it, people don't think it's a cheap item, and they're selling it for more. So I can't remember who did that, but he actually showed a demonstration of sanding the price tag off of the display of the plastic. So, or not plastic, but the cardboard.
So since I don't sell shoes, my tip for you with shoes is, now that you've done the hard work of finding them, you've reconditioned them, and you've sanded the bottom of them, make sure to use cubic shipping. Cubic shipping will save you a ton on shoes because most shoes will fit. If you think of the priority box for that you get free from the post office, that shoe box will easily is a 0.4 or 0.3 on cubic shipping. Will save you a lot of money. If you can take a couple inches off of it, it'll drop into the 0.2s. And then also, if you have tennis shoes, shoes that can be shipped in a poly mailer without being injured. I wouldn't send heels in a poly mailer. The more expensive the shoe is, you should upgrade to shipping. That's my belief. That if they spend $100 on a pair of shoes, they're not getting them in a poly bag. So, but poly bag tennis shoes and stuff, because you measure the two sides of the bag laid flat. And then on pirate ship, select down from the box, and bag in a box is next. So it'll ask for 2 dimensions. And that is the absolute cheapest way to send it in a poly bag. Priority shipping is through pirate ship with the cubic shipping rate.
Oh yeah, I send tennis shoes in poly bags quite often. It's a 15 by 12 poly bag. It's actually eBay's branded poly bag. And me being here in Oklahoma, I'm kind of centrally located in the U.S., but You know, I could send like a 2-pound pair of shoes almost anywhere in the lower 48 for between $7.50 and $8. So it's pretty cheap.
Lauren, we have people who don't know, but Jason's got one of the best voices in the reselling community. And I figured he can. What do you think? Should we have him read off some of these tips that people are putting in chat, since he's got the best voice in the reselling community? Like one of them is, what was it? Tip: Italian sausage cooks great in the air fryer. Just tried it. But yeah, Jason, you got any tips for? Can you read some of those tips out loud?
Sure. Justin Pac-Man says, tip: con your wife to do shipping. Saves a ton of time.
I have my husband bring everything to the post office for me, and it saves me a ton of time. So
And what do you call him? What do you call him?
Oh yeah.
He is my post office bitch. But he knows it.
That's the POB.
The POB.
Here's a tip. A tip for shoes: get yourself a pair of good, comfortable shoes. Your feet and back will thank you. Huh.
That's true.
That sounds like the tip that Lieutenant Dan gave to Forrest Gump when they were in Vietnam.
Yeah, there are quite a few about the Kelly, the e-com mom ward. Don't overlook doing bundles and multi-packs at the Dollar Tree to sell online. That is a upper level pro tip. Most people will go to the Dollar Tree and go, well, I looked and I couldn't sell one item. Did you ever think about putting 2 or 3 together and charging $15 or $16 for your $3 items?
Yep.
That is a serious. If don't ignore that one. I might know somebody who.
That's the best tip all night.
Yep.
I might know. Well, I wouldn't say that, but do we need to get a poll going? It was a pretty good tip.
That's a really good tip if you're trying to up feedback in your eBay store.
Yep.
What Scott just said.
Yeah, I know someone who's built a $3 million Amazon business started at a Dollar Tree. Kid you not.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I put a video out a while back ago with this. It's a freaking pepper on eBay. If you bundle 2 or 3 of them, they're like $9.99 a piece. I sell them on Amazon, so it's like
did sell them on Amazon.
Oh, Krellin just sent a super chat.
Amazon.
Thanks, Krellin. He said, "Did you just say Italian? Only in Oregon."
Hey,
Oregon.
I got another tip too for you guys. God, I'm dropping the mic like crazy. So what you can do is let's say you go to Amazon, right? You type in, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something cool here. Oh yeah, type in barbecue grill cover or something, right? And then you look at the bottom. Obviously, this is a horrible example, but you look at the bottom and it will show bundles or liked items sold with this barbecue grill cover. So now you have an idea of what people are kind of buying with the item that you're going to sell. And so maybe you can do this with cheaper items. You can do that same thing, search Amazon, then find the bundle that's below that people are most likely buying with that item, bundle it together and sell it, whether it's on eBay or Amazon.
Reseller King.
What?
That's the same actually tip. It just spin differently. I'll give you the credit, Kelly. You're amazing.
Reseller King just asked, how many of us are wearing clothes from storage units or thrift stores? I will say every single thing that I have on right now, well, you can't really see my whole body, is from the bins or a thrift store, and it's all like higher end.
Nice.
Well, minus my engagement wedding ring, but even my watch is.
That's an impressive thrift
thrifting.
store.
You might want to bring. You might want to bring your post office bitch in here so we can verify that he did buy those at a thrift store.
He's downstairs watching football.
The football's over.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know what he's watching now, but he's downstairs watching TV.
He's drunk staring at the screen. Most of my most of except for a lot of the Alabama shirts my wife has bought through the years, everything else come from a thrift store. Pants, shorts, whatever. I try never to pay full price for clothes.
I'm the same way. I'm cheap. I am super cheap. I try not to pay full price for anything, especially clothes. The only thing I might do is shoes. I will pay full price for a pair of shoes.
Yeah, that's something that I'm kind of hypocritical about because I sell a whole bunch of shoes, but I will not wear a pair of used shoes.
Same here, man. Same here. I like my shoes to be new. It's just, I don't know. It's weird.
And am I the only one that doesn't get the used shoes part? Because each person wears shoes different. They have a different. I've tried wearing used shoes and they just don't. They're uncomfortable. So I went back to shoes and underwear are the ones that I don't.
Oh, come on, Scott! Not any used underwear.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say my underwear is not thrifted.
I don't really like the feeling of knowing that someone else's boys have been in my clothes. So there you go.
I
can't say I blame you.
Can't say that.
Women's dress like pumps and stuff that are thrifted, as long as they're fairly new. But like my workout shoes, like my running shoes and stuff, I always buy those new because they kind of form to your feet after you wear them a couple times. Same thing with winter boots. Like I would never buy thrifted winter boots because I'm in them a lot. Like we're up north. I wear boots half the year. I need them to be comfortable. So
what's crazy is I every so often, since I sell a lot of shoes, ever so often I get a message from a potential buyer saying, "Hey, do me a favor and don't clean these anymore than you already have." And send them to me. I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh my goodness. That's funny.
It happens. What's the mannequin name over there? Look, she's ready for business over there by Bright White Wall. I mean, that's a pretty cool mannequin.
She doesn't have a name yet. She's pretty new. What do you guys think I should name her? She's naked right now. I'm trying to cover her up.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're talking in the chat too about large items. That is a huge tip that most resellers do not want to deal with large items. I sell when I'm listing on eBay a lot. I sell VCRs and other things that are way more. And understand that dealing with larger items, generally that means larger dollars sold, larger dollars profit. So the things that I pick up, I want to make more money on. But the shipping is not terrible. You can find a way around these things. You can handle and ship larger items, and FedEx ground or home is very reasonable. And that is for people who are willing to deal with items that have a little weight to them or a little size to them. The money is there because you've eliminated your competition or a good chunk of your competition because they look at it and go, well, I want something that's first class. Okay, go first class.
Right.
If there's money in it, I'm not leaving it behind. And if it's a larger item, I'll just make do to deal with it.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. Like with larger items, FedEx is usually much better than USPS as far as rates. And like for instance, I shipped like nearly a 40-pound box. It was like 18 by 18 by 6 in size, and shipped it halfway across the U.S. for $20 FedEx home delivery.
Nice. Very nice.
I guess it just comes from packing up so many boxes going to Amazon. I deal with the larger boxes, so I have them in stock, the 24 by 18 by 18. But it's they're not that difficult, folks. Most of your small postal scales go to 110 pounds anyway. They're not going to break. I haven't broke the cables on mine break. It's not the fact that I put 50 pounds on them. They're made to do that. So you want a way to pick up things. And if you don't want to ship it and it's a large item that there's money in it, sell it local. There's a lot of us. I don't like selling local, but if there's enough money in it, I'll meet up with, it's so peoply, but I'll meet up with people for the right amount. It's hard to leave profit behind for me.
Oh yeah, same here. If I can make any kind of money on it, I'll pick it up. And my first Amazon shipment, I was nervous. After that one, because it was so big, and after that one, 40, 50-pound boxes is no big deal.
Your first Amazon shipment, I gave you hell over that shipment too.
Oh man, it was so. I was nervous, and you know what? After the first one, I was like freaking killing it. I was just sending everything in.
You want to know what's nervous? I'll tell you what's nervous. I sent my most recent Amazon FBA shipment last week, and I had like 5 or 6 boxes, and some of them were real big. A couple of them were really heavy because they were full of books. And I go to FedEx, and I drop them off, and as she's grabbing these boxes, she's just like tossing this big heavy box on top of a light box.
Oh no.
Crushing the box. I was like, what are you doing? Like, come on, be a little more careful. That's like inventory sitting in there.
Right.
I was like, man, I sure hope it gets to Amazon in one piece, and because we haven't even made it out the door, just dropping it off, and we're already seeing some issues.
Yeah.
I personally with Amazon. Let me get this one out before I forget about it. Is when I started out with Amazon, I went the cheapest boxes route because I didn't have a ton of money to invest. But if you get in the habit of using boxes that you have to purchase from Lowe's or Home Depot, buy the extra heavy duty ones, you'd be amazed how much more of a crush rate they have, and especially protection from the side, and you will not lose hardly any inventory. I would lose an item or two in every one of the thin boxes, but the minute I switched over to the heavy duty boxes, you pay double, sometimes triple for the box, but the box is only a couple dollars more. How much is your inventory and the potential sales lost? You lose one item per box. You've lost more than what you would have paid for the box.
Oh, absolutely.
And the heavy duty boxes to send into Amazon are tremendous savings in the long run for you losing inventory. It doesn't matter generally what FedEx or UPS will do to your boxes. If you've taken the care to put them in a much better box, they survive. Your inventory survives much better.
Yeah, those double wall boxes, some of them have, like they're thick enough you could probably build a house out of one. If some of them
build a tiny home.
yeah.
So I got a tip. We haven't heard of tonight. I'm hoping this is a good one here. So sometimes, when I was first starting out, I would get a box that sometimes you get a box with your inventory in it. You don't want to double box it because you don't need to. You want to ship it in that box, but sometimes it has, it was an old box and it has stuff all over it. It just doesn't look professional, or it could have, lettering on it, or whatever the case may be. And you don't want to pay the extra weight to double box it. What you can do is, if you don't want to show what's on that box, you can take garbage bags or heavy plastic and tape it real good around that box and ship it. Now, you got to be a little careful that you don't leave any corners out where it gets stuck in the machines. But a lot of times, at least once a week, I'll ship a box, and you put this over the box and tape the sides really nicely. And you can use that existing box without taking the stuff out, or double boxing it and paying extra for shipping. So it's an option. A lot of people don't realize you can do that via FedEx or even USPS.
Yes. I just asked in the chat if anybody wants any Poshmark tips. I can throw out a couple, especially if you're a newbie and you're watching us and you haven't listed something but you're thinking about it. If you're going to start with clothes, start on Posh. Reason why is because you do not have to worry about any kind of weighing shipping. It's $6.50 flat across, no matter what you sell. And you can send it in anything, and you can send it also in any kind of priority box. So if you sell your first item and you have no box, you can bring it directly to the post office after you print your label, and you can just grab a box for free at the post office.
Can you use Can you use like regional boxes and flat rate boxes and stuff like that for that as well?
Yep.
Cool.
You can use anything. I just use regular priority mailboxes. I don't use flat rates or anything for that, but I know lots of people that do. But
And-
if you're worried about shipping, start out on there and kind of get a feel and then branch out.
And you don't have to worry about returns either, correct? As long as you're accurate with your
No,
pictures and
there are no
description.
returns on Poshmark. No returns, which is also another big headache solved.
Right. Oh yeah.
Especially for a new seller. There's one thing that I use on Poshmark that helps is, Lauren, do you do the same thing where when you share, I share from my desktop, and then what you can do in the browser is you can zoom it out like 125 or 150, so you can see more listings. You don't, you get more rows, more listings. So now if you share, you can only share a certain amount, then you got to go, but if you zoom out your web browser on Poshmark.com on your desktop, you can see a bunch of them at once for each page, and you can share. So
I do that exact thing. I do it every morning, and I do it on my big screen. I have like a 40-inch monitor, and I'll do it in I can get like 50 listings because I zoom out so much. So then I can just fly through, but it'll ask you if you're a robot if you share that fast. And then you have to tell them that you're not a robot. But yeah, Posh was really busy today. I was in a hangout with Andy earlier. If you guys are subscribed to him, Parrothead Picker, but he sold a couple on Posh, and so did I today. It was pretty busy. So
nice.
I always
get your stuff up, people.
Well, don't you always see Parrothead Picker like he's got like a cigar and a beer? Am I?
Yeah.
He's living the.
Yeah, I don't know what he's selling over there. He must be selling something good because I always see him over there, and he's just sitting. It's a picture of his beer and a cigar. It seems like every single time. But
yeah, someone asked,
Yeah.
do you cross post on eBay and Poshmark?
Some items I do. The longer you're selling, you're gonna know which sells better on each platform. There's a couple things that I will, but most things I just know what's gonna go on eBay and what's gonna go on Posh. So I won't even bother.
So which ones sell better? Do vintage items sell better on both platforms, or is new tags sell better on Posh? Or
I would say vintage does a lot better on eBay.
right?
There's a bigger market on eBay for vintage. And Poshmark, honestly, new tags or pre-owned, it's fine. It's just you need to pick up what is
Trending.
in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually do cross post all of my shoes from eBay to Poshmark. And here's the tip with that. eBay penalizes you for canceling an order. Okay. So Poshmark currently does not do that. So if by chance in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, if you were to sell the same item on eBay or Poshmark, you want to cancel the order from Poshmark and fulfill the order from eBay.
Yeah.
A lot of people are concerned about that, but honestly, I mean, the only time that that's actually going to happen is when you're not around to delete the listing from the other platform, whichever one it hasn't sold from. But definitely, I can tell you from my experience, Poshmark is actually doing better for me right now than eBay is. And I'm not sure exactly why that is, but it's doing better for me. eBay, I'm still making some sales, but it's kind of slow right now. And Poshmark has definitely picked up the pace and has helped me, as far as my sales from day to day.
I agree.
Very nice.
Poshmark has been killing it for me lately. And eBay, the clothes that I do have on there, I've sold a couple things here and there, but most of my sales on eBay in my main clothing store have been hard goods. That's why I've decided that I'm going to split my stores since I have more than one and do one that's hard goods with free returns and all the eBay criteria to be a top rated seller. And then I will keep one just as clothing. And I think I'm just going to take the whole store off of it. I'll just pay to add my listings because it's going to end up being cheaper for how much less I'm selling on eBay now.
Right.
So
There's another question. Does Poshmark have a vacation mode?
they do. But they also give you 5 days to ship your stuff. So unless you're on a real vacation, like out of the country, you really don't need to use it.
Nice.
Mic drop. That was good. That was a good tip.
Mic drop.
Well, I missed a lot of the chat.
Yeah, I know nothing about Posh, but I can read the chat. So
Yeah, I have no clue. No clue about Posh at all.
Okay, Adam asked if I could explain how I ship shoes on Pirate Ship using the cubic shipping. Yeah, it's really the same exact way that you would ship on eBay. So when you go to pirateship.com, it'll ask you to open an account. It's free. And then you link your eBay. So once your eBay is linked, you just click on the eBay icon, and it will populate all of your items that are awaiting shipment. And then after that, what you'll do is you'll just put in like the size of the box and the weight, or if you're shipping in a poly bag, it'll be the two sides, the size of the poly bag and the weight. And then you select what ship, how you want to ship it. So usually it'd be priority mail, and you just print off the label, put it on your box, and Pirate Ship will automatically put that tracking information into eBay for you. So, I mean, it's really, really simple, and it comes directly out of whatever business account or debit card, whatever you set up with Pirate Ship. So if you set up with like your PayPal debit card, it'll come directly out of PayPal.
Oh, very nice.
I wanted to just touch quickly on, guys, if you haven't tried Poshmark out, it eliminates two pain points that most of us face with eBay. One of the pain points with eBay is shipping, right? Shipping is an issue, right? For new sellers, that is. I mean, because there's so many different ways you can ship. Sometimes you ship priority when it should be first class, and you're losing money there because you didn't weigh the item before you listed it. So it eliminates the shipping because the buyers pay the shipping on Poshmark, although you can set an offer where you take care of the shipping, but primarily they take care of it. So it eliminates that fact. And then also the no returns. Obviously, if there's an issue, they can file kind of a claim thing, right? But majority of it is no returns. So those are two things that are like big pain points with eBay that people just simply don't have with Poshmark. So I think it's an amazing opportunity to, especially if you're full-time, to cross-post. If you're full-time, you should probably be on 3 platforms, or 2 if you're really killing it, or 1 if you're absolutely killing it. But I'm just speaking towards new sellers. Like, get your feet wet on multiple platforms, just because you never know. If you don't try a platform, you may crush it and kill it on that thing and love it. You just simply got to actually spend the time to open the account and try it for a few times. So anyways, 2 pain points that really I feel like Poshmark did a fantastic job eliminating for the sellers.
Nice.
Yeah, also, I've had a couple cases open that have been bogus just because someone got it and they're like, oh, well, this doesn't look exactly how I thought it would look on me. I want to return it. Poshmark has your back. They're going to tell the buyer, sorry, no returns, like buyer's remorse. Nope, we're not taking it back. And I've actually had one where Poshmark can see how many sales I make. So they know that I'm not like a scamming seller. You know what I mean?
Right.
So someone was trying to be scammy towards me to do a return, and they ended up giving the person their money back and letting me keep my profit. So
that's awesome.
They really have the seller's bags.
Yeah. So
Lauren just sent me a super chat. Thanks. Hi.
Awesome. So, honestly, guys, I mean, if you're selling clothing and shoes and accessories and purses and anything of that sort on eBay, seriously, just open up a Poshmark. Start cross-posting, because once you get the hang of cross-posting, as long as you're taking square photos for eBay, which you should be. If you're not, you absolutely should be, because they're going to look better in search. And it makes it a million times quicker to cross-post to Poshmark as well. So once you're taking square photos for eBay, I personally can cross-post 20 to 25 items in 1 hour. So it doesn't take that long.
Nice.
It doesn't.
yeah, let's get cubic shipping straight. If you're somebody asks if you can put a bag in a box, you can, and that is the second measure down where you only measure 2. Their directions and then their facts, and if you look up the Postal Service, you measure the bag flat. It's not once you put it to the box and measure the box or whatever. It is the size of the bag when the bag is laying flat with nothing in it. That is the correct way.
Scott, do you mean a box in a bag or
A box
bag in a box?
a box that you're gonna put in a bag and use the 2 sides. You must measure the bag flat.
Sure.
There was some wrong information given out by, hey, crap, I'm late. He gave out some wrong information. Gotcha, Justin. It is the official way to measure that is so if you want to reduce it, because it cannot be longer than 18 inches on one side, if you can cut down the bag and then then put the box in it. That's the only way to reduce the size of the bag if the bag is oversized.
Alan, you use a Google. I don't know how to do it on Google. That's on if you were to get a square photo on an iPhone, it's easy. You just basically have all your options here, and then I just you go up to square, and then boom, there you go. But I don't know how to do it on Android.
Yeah, I have one. I can't find it.
Depending on the Android, like I have the S7 Edge, and you can actually go into your camera settings and you choose the 1-to-1 ratio. That would be a square photo.
Nice.
That's why we have Jason here. He's got the best voice in the business, but man, this guy is knowledgeable, guys, and he's full time. By the way, congratulations going full time.
Thank you.
Yes. I'd say another square photo trick. If you can't figure out how to do it on your phone, download the Moldive app, because you can actually, like, every photo you take, you can just touch the very bottom and decide what the sizing is you want. So if you can't figure out how to do it on your own cell phone camera, just download that app, and then you can take all your pictures in a square mode automatically. Nice. And I actually think they come out better because there's actual camera adjustments you can do with the lighting and everything. So, and I said that app in the last show. So if you want to know, I think maybe, did you link it somewhere, Wade? I can't remember. Or make a list or.
Yeah, I made a huge. I don't know. I don't want to promote my Instagram on somebody else's channel here, but if you go to my Instagram,
you're allowed to.
All right. If you go to my Instagram, guys, in the link tree, I've got like 71 links that possibly could help you guys as resellers. Pretty much the culmination of the last year, any websites, apps, or anything like that other resellers has come up with that kind of helps them. I compiled into a library so you guys can go check. And the first like 8 links are affiliate. Everything else is not. And there's 71, so it kind of gives you an idea. Majority of it, I don't get paid a dime. I just put it in there so you guys can, benefit from it. So, or you can go to the last video we did on resellers, was it last Sunday or the Sunday before that? And you guys can check. And I also put it under the description, in the description there as well. So
nice.
Yeah, there's some really great apps we talked about last time.
Adam says, Jason's a great guy. He's just not very lucky with scratch-off lottery tickets. Yeah, you're right. I'm really lucky with other people's scratch-off lottery tickets. So if you want to send some my way, I'm guaranteed to win.
That's hilarious.
The Thrifting Goomba said, I have 2 options on my Note 8, 1-to-1 ratio at 9.1 meg or 4.7 meg. Really depends, honestly. I think 4.7 meg is big enough, and it'll upload to eBay a lot quicker than the 9.1 will.
eBay pictures are only going to recognize, I think, 8 megapixels anyway, so the 9.1 is a little overkill. I believe 8's about the limit of their pictures.
Yeah. I think most of the ones I upload, I think, are 4. Around 4. That's usually what I save them at. Did we miss any questions? I know the chat's like flying now. We have 185 viewers, which is crazy. Thanks for watching us, everyone. I was going to end the show earlier, but we have so many people watching and our flow is going so well. I didn't want to stop.
Don't stop the flow. Hey, Lauren, go ahead. I just want to. Oh,
I was going to say, Jason had a question about books. He wants to know how to find really great books, textbooks or what. Textbooks are generally good books, but the older they are, the harder they are to sell. If you scan enough books, you will understand categories. Categories of books, or certain categories, are much better than others. Like romance novels, maybe you get the whole set. You can sell the whole set on eBay. That'd be the only thing that are worth anything. Other than that, chances are they're not worth anything. The more popular a book is, like right now, like from the last few years, a political book, they're generally not worth even looking at unless there's something that you're interested in. You can buy them cheap for yourself. But books about war, a lot of those history books do very well. There's just certain categories that do cookbooks seem to do okay. Depending on the more specialized the cookbook is, the chances are it was not as circulated as great. So
I love books, by the way, but there's no money in books on Amazon, so you shouldn't try selling them. Just no money.
I'll second that.
No, I mean, I do love books, and I do love selling books, and I still sell a ton of books on Amazon every month, and that's how I started on Amazon. And I feel like if you're not selling books, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. But there's one tip that I want to give you about selling books, and it's don't be an idiot and drop the buy box. So it could just be you're new or whatever. But here's one thing I want to urge you on. If it's a textbook, all right, and you see everybody at $60 and up, don't put it at $7. So I had that happen to me, and I just left it there. I was actually going to buy it, and it was gone before I could get to it. What I can tell you is textbooks do not sell year-round. They're a seasonal book. So if the buy box is like $150 or $80 or $90, don't drop it down to 10 or 5 or 7. I see people selling books on FBA at $5.99. There's no money in that. Like, you're losing money on every single book. So if it's a textbook, you can actually go into Keepa and you can run a price chart on that book, and you can see when the kids go back to school, the prices in those months that they were selling for.
I have luck selling on eBay Alcohol Anonymous books, and also old, like I sold this old parenting book for $50. And then also old Bibles do well on eBay as well. It seems like the sell-through rate on those are pretty good. So, any anonymous books actually do pretty decent, especially some of the older ones. So keep an eye on those bad boys.
And books for eBay, especially ones that are local to your region. I watched Idaho Hillbilly a lot. He picks up a lot of Idaho books about different plants and history in Idaho and other kinds of regional books that you can't get anywhere else but the region they're written in. If people move away, people haven't naturally drawn to certain areas of the country, and it makes those books where people will pay for those, even no matter if they're older or not. So regional books about the history of an area do very well on eBay.
Right.
I've actually heard that books like yearbooks actually do fairly well on eBay too. I mean, they may take a little while to sell because, of course, you have to have the right person that comes along, but you can get some decent money out of those.
I've sold some older yearbooks, and they still do decent, but keep in mind, like, if there's no one famous in them, the people that's going to buy the older yearbooks are a lot older. And so they may not buy online or sell online or buy it online. So just keep in mind the older ones are probably going to be a little bit like from the 40s and stuff, but they'll still sell.
And we had a question for Wade. Were those AA books from your personal collection?
Who asked that? Who asked?
Your personal collection.
Hey, all I can tell you is, like I said, I was 2 days ago. I was puking for the first time in like 20 years without being alcohol related, guys. It was horrible. But I do want to. So when I buy a lot of storage units, especially some of the older ones, I get a lot of recipes that are in there, like personal recipes from grandmas and great grandmas. And sometimes those sell really well on eBay too. People love buying old recipes. You know, the little trays that you basically can flip the recipes. Those sell decently well if you pick up the old ones. So keep an eye out for those. Of course, you know, I buy storage units and they're kind of common. I'm sure, I don't know if you're going to find a lot in Goodwills and stuff like that, but people like buying old recipes. That wasn't a mic drop, guys. I'm sorry. It's like
That wasn't a mic.
I'm telling you, people like old like recipes for pies and stuff. But yeah, anyways, I'll come up with a better one next time. Wade, really digging the trailer video. Great editing. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, Coal City, Lauren, she is amazing. She's amazing.
Is.
Yeah.
I love her. I met her in real life. She's so sweet.
In real life.
In real life, not in video life. In real life. We met at the reseller rally in Chicago. And she's awesome.
Another tip is in the chat. Diesel Engine says the books without UPC codes are, most people are, and I'm guilty of this, you know, but if I'm in a hurry or whatever, I will scan the ones without the UPC codes. And then if I got time, I'll go back to the other ones. But they're generally older books without UPC codes, and there's a lot of money people leave behind because they either don't have the time or don't have the want to type in the older books.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, if everyone's cool with it, I know we have a ton of viewers. But unless you guys have other things you want to share, I think I am going to end the show. Yeah. What do you think? We've been droning on for an hour and a half now. People are probably getting stressed.
They're waiting to see what you pick for the name of the mannequin behind you.
I think I'm going to pick Layla. Landshark Picker was saying that I should name her Layla, and I like that name, so I think I'm going to keep it.
That's awesome.
That's pretty close to my dog's name. Lila is my dog's name.
That's a great name. I will say before we head out, everyone, if you're watching, make sure that you like the video tonight and make sure that you subscribe to everyone's channels. I have them all listed in the description of the video. And make sure you hit the little bell button when you subscribe to everybody so that you can tell when we're going live so you can come and hang out with us.
Yeah, next.
I'll let you guys do your goodbyes. We can start with Jason.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. Honestly, truly, seriously, really, if you're not subscribed to Lauren's channel, please do so. We're on here every Sunday night on one of our channels. And you know what? It's been real. It's been fun. And it's also been real fun. So I guess I'll see you guys later.
Shane?
Everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. And I mean, one thing I can tell you is if you're really apprehensive about, you know, you think you're going to fail at this, you probably will. So you have to really stay into a positive mindset and just be positive, surround yourself with positive people. And that's all I got.
Scott?
The one thing I'll tell you, just to add on to how I started this with doing the work, is in the knowledge. Even if you're not out hunting, the learning never stops. You know, to do a show like this where we are giving tips and tricks on certain things, it takes all 5 of us to cover this. You know, so the amount of knowledge that you need to gain in order to be, such an effective reseller. You know, each one of us has different strengths, and that's how we tried to build the panel. Everybody has a different. Because, you know, there's not a show goes by that I don't learn something. And, you know, I've been full-time for almost 5 years now. So, you know, not only do you never stop working, but never stop learning. That's you gotta find that as part of the fun part of this game. You know, learning about things, learning how to do things, learn how to save money, learn how to do things. And then we appreciate you being in the chat and giving out the tips, because I don't assume because we have a camera turned on, we know everything. You guys had some great tips tonight. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Wade?
Well, I've got 2 things, and I'll be quick. The first thing, guys, is those of you who don't know, sometimes I trade stocks, and we're part of a chat room. And the idea of that is to not only be with a good group of people, but more importantly, you have more eyeballs on, when stocks go up and stocks go down. The reason I'm telling you this is it's the same thing in the reselling game, right? You want to find that really cool group that you can be, in with, not only to gain knowledge from the other resellers, but also so you have more eyeballs on products when sales come through. And so that's my one tip I'm going to give is try to like form a really cool tight knit where you have multiple people that are in it for the same reason you are, but more importantly, you learn from each individual. And then also, I think the biggest thing that I took away from tonight is you've got to think outside the crowd. Like the idea of going to Walgreens to source is different. Not a lot of people do it. The majority go to, and rightfully so, Walmarts and all those other big box stores. But maybe think outside the crowd and do something differently. Just like, instead of doing clothes, maybe look at some of the bigger items that are huge to ship, but the profit margins are great. And obviously there's less competition, less people doing it. You have more opportunity to sell it quicker. So think outside the crowd, and then also create a tight-knit group so you can have really a lot of eyeballs on the same thing that you guys enjoy day in and day out. And that's reselling, but more importantly, doing it so you can spend time with the family. So anyways, much love. Hit the thumbs up button for this amazing guys. She unveiled her new mannequin for you guys and even named her on film. So, much love to you guys. Thanks for joining as always every Sunday. I can't believe it's been a year since we started this show. Scott's beard grew an extra 2 inches since we started it. So thanks for coming tonight, guys.
Yes, thanks again to everybody watching us. I believe that the next show next week will be on Chris's channel, which is Liquidation Ohio. It will be in the description below if you guys aren't subbed to him. But thanks again for watching. We love you all, and we hope you have a wonderful night. Bye.
See everyone.